this is what I want to talk about. I want to talk about briefly the New England Patriots and the San Francisco 49ers. Colby, talk to us about what you got for this game. Talk to us about what you got for this game. Obviously, this team is dealing with some injuries. McCaffrey is now out. I believe he's going through an injury. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to play. Yeah, go ahead, man.
This is the game that I've been saying for a minute that the Patriots were going to lose. Now, I know the 49ers haven't looked like the 49ers. I mean, I think they won, one game so far this season, and I think that was against the Jets week 1. But look, last week they should have won. It's just Kyle Shanahan cannot escape the narrative that when he goes up by several possessions, they have a lead in the fourth quarter and they should win the game. They come back down to earth and they blow it. If they have a lead by multiple possessions in the fourth quarter, you know that the 49ers are going to lose the game. I think that they were the better team last week. Ultimately, they just beat themselves, and now they're coming off with another loss. Injuries are absolutely plaguing right now the 49ers, and I think that's why some people are like, oh, who knows? Maybe there's a chance. I don't think there's a chance. I don't think there's a chance the Patriots win this game. This is the best team that they're going to face between veterans, between the system that they have. They're out-coached. In every single phase, the Patriots are kind of outnumbered here now. When they did lose to the Jets and they got wiped, one of the big things to remember is that it was on a short week. They had to travel. The Patriots have a very, very mini bye week here because they played Thursday. Now they're obviously playing next Sunday, a 4 p.m. slate against the 49ers. So they do have a little bit of extra time, but I don't think an extra day or two is going to be enough preparation in order to beat this team. I think the only reason the Patriots, come out of this game with a win is if the 49ers end up beating themselves, not because the Patriots beat them. I do expect this game to be closer. As wild as that sounds, I do expect this game to be closer than when the Patriots played the Jets last week, but I do still easily think the Patriots are going to lose this game by more than 3 points. It's probably going to be somewhere between 10 points. I'm going to say the Patriots are going to lose this game by 10 points, multiple scores. Current injury update here. So Deebo Samuel is dealing with a calf injury. He did not practice today. This is the first injury report that we've gotten for the week. So here on Wednesday, Deebo didn't practice. Trent Williams didn't practice. Javon Hargrave, he's actually out for the season. They lost him last week, so another big loss there for them. D. Winters, their linebacker, also did not practice. George Kittle did return to practice, but was a limited participant, so his status is a little bit up in the air, but I think that he's going to have a really, really good game. I'm not worried about Brandon Ayuk. I still think he's coming back kind of from the holdout that he had during summer. I think it's going to take him a few weeks. I trust Gonzo. I trust safety help over the top in order to shut him down. But Jawan Jennings, bro, had a career game this past week, and I've been a big fan of Jawan Jennings. Even last year, had some good showings in the Super Bowl. Wanted the Patriots to target him in free agency, and ultimately they didn't. Like I said, over 100 yards last week. I think he had 2 touchdowns too. Bro absolutely went off. He's 6'3". And here's the thing. What the Patriots are going to do is they're going to put, like I said, Gonzo on Brandon Ayuk. What I actually want to see the Patriots do is put Gonzo on Jawan Jennings because of the height matchup is a lot better, and then put Jonathan Jones on Brandon Ayuk because that height matchup is a little bit better with safety help over the top. Unfortunately, I don't have confidence in them doing that. Last week against the Jets, Jonathan Jones had really, really good sticky coverage on, I believe it was Mike Williams he went up against, but unfortunately, John Jones, he's 5'9", 5'10", going up against a 6'3" wide receiver. As long as Brock Purdy can accurately place the ball to Jawan Jennings, it doesn't matter. The height advantage is just going to take over, and I feel like that's the exact situation that's going to happen here. I think this is going to be a big game for Jawan Jennings. Like I said, they could be out some key players. They're probably going to be out Deebo Samuel. They're probably going to be out, or not probably, they are going to be out Christian McCaffrey. Trent Williams might not play in this game. You lose your star defensive tackle, but despite all of those things, I just think that the 49ers are the better team. Patriots have a little bit of extra time for preparation, but the Patriots are also dealing with a lot of injuries right now. Vadarian Lowe, their starting left tackle, didn't practice. Their Patriots' best offensive lineman, Michael Jordan, as a guard, he didn't practice. Anthony Jennings didn't practice. The list just goes on and on and on. And I think that Nick Bosa is going to absolutely cook the Patriots. This could be another game. This really could be another game where the Patriots have even a worse pressure rate than they've had the last few weeks. Week 1, the Patriots offensive line allowed a pressure rate of 44%. Week 2, it was 50%. Last week against the Jets, it was somewhere between 56 to 62.8%. I could see that go up even more with Nick Bosa and the 49ers this week, especially with the, again, injuries the Patriots are dealing with on that offensive line. Basically, that was a massive breakdown that nobody needed here, just to know the fact that, hey, Patriots are going to lose this game. No ifs, ands, or buts. Anyone else?
Yeah, Patriots getting smoked by far. Big time. Injuries or not.
We're expecting it.
So here's my thing, right? So the San Francisco 49ers seem like the LA Rams have hit the injury bug at the absolute worst time possible. I'm still going to give the edge to the San Francisco 49ers because I love their pass rush against the, of course, Pat's offensive line. I think that that's going to be the Achilles heel right there. I have a hard time seeing Mr. Brissett really being able to make many moves behind there, and they have a solid run defense, so I see them taking away again with Ramondre Stevenson. I would be absolutely shocked if he had a better game than he did last week against the Jets, which was certainly not impressive by any stretch of the imagination. I just don't like the matchup specifically within the trenches. So with that being said, I'm going San Francisco 49ers. I don't know, like 24 to whatever, because like, listen, like nobody anticipate Purdy to go out there and be crazy, right? Like he's not good when one of his weapons are gone. All right. And now he might be playing without 2 or 3. So it's going to be a win from this 49ers team, but it's not going to be as dominant as people want to predict it to be.
Yeah, I got the Niners winning this game. I think it's, they're the better football team, even without all their key guys on offense. I just, no disrespect to the Patriots, but they're kind of so far up until this point doing exactly what I expected. Obviously, I did not predict them to win week 1, but I did say before the season that they're going to win some games that nobody expects them to, which was week 1. And they're just like, they have an issue with talent. Let's be honest with ourselves. Like, the talent from the 49ers compared to the Patriots, it's even with the injuries, is outmatched. The continuity of that roster, they have a plethora of weapons on offense that you still got to deal with. Like Jennings is breaking out now, 3 touchdowns, 175 plus yards. Mason is still capable, and they got a system. I know that they're also starving for a win. By the way, they're coming off a game where they felt like they completely gave it away. They should have won that football game last week. And maybe the Patriots can be that type of pesky team and pull it off, but it's going to be a tough one for them because I feel like matchups wise, it does not go in the Patriots' favor. And you're looking at a pissed off 49ers team that is desperate for a win, coming off 2 straight L's. Okay. And I really think that the Patriots are going to lose this game. And if they go out there and pull off an upset, we'll eat our crows. But I got the Niners winning this football game.
Score prediction?
Score prediction is going to be 27-9.
I'm going to say, I forgot to give my score prediction. I'm going 21-10. Like I said, Patriots are definitely going to lose this game pretty confidently.
34-13.
You think they're going to run up the score on that? You're done with the Patriots defense?
No, you give me, all right, listen.
34 points, TD, you got?
34-13.
You give me 28-12.
28-12.
Patriots broke you, TD, after what they did to you on Thursday, it seems.
We're all on the same kind of mindset with this one.
Yep. That's what I got.
Right.
But you know what? It's time for Glenn's QB segment.
Is it? Did we get to the previews of the other games? Did I miss that?
No, we just did this one. We just did Pat's.
Well, let's preview the rest of the games and then get into that, Dan.
Oh, okay.
Or do you want to do the Glenn's now?
I mean, it would just make more sense to,
just because I clip this, I usually put it on as a preview segment.
Oh, yeah. You're right. Don't even worry about that. Let's talk about the loaded Tennessee Titans versus the Miami Dolphins. TD, go ahead.
Dolphins win 34-13.
Please explain how.
Yeah.
It's simple. I think Tyler Huntley is going to start this week. His mobility is going to electrify this offense. Tyreek and Waddle will get more looks. And I think that we'll just dominate the Tennessee Titans. Our defense has been playing solid. Will Levis will probably give our defense 14 points in this game alone. Seriously, I think Will Levis is going to give us 14 points with his stupidity of play, I'll say. All right, he's not a stupid guy, but his play sometimes is stupid. And we'll beat them. Monday night, we'll be right back. We'll be 2-2. We'll be 500. And then I'll start to see everybody else in my division start to get nervous because what I said is coming to fruition. So, listen, this one's an easy one for me. I know that the way that we've been getting beat down may look like, oh man, this gonna be tough. I don't know, y'all might lose and this and that, or Tennessee's gonna beat y'all. But this is the get back game. This is the get back game where we play solid enough, and I think we'll be led by the defense. I really think they're gonna get up at Will Levis, make them make dumb decisions, and our defense will dominate so much. I mean, even look at Seattle. Our defense played very well. Our defense played very well in that game. Gave us a million opportunities to come back and win. Just the offense wouldn't capitalize. But Huntley is capable of getting that done. I truly do believe.
First of all, Huntley's not playing in this game. So your entire
you don't
preview,
know that.
I mean, we don't know it. You're making making it seem like he is.
Skylar Thompson got a banged up rib cage. He's not.
And you know who's ahead of Huntley, right, in the depth chart, right?
He's not ahead, Richie. That's just on the depth chart. I think Huntley is going to be the player and not Tim Boyle. But I'll say this: Boyle actually looked solid. He looked solid enough when he came in. But we'll see. I think it's going to be Huntley, and that's why I got my prediction. Even if it is Tim Boyle, the defense, Richie, is going to really put up points, and they're going to disrupt Will Levis.
And what's your offense going to do against a good Titans defense, a loaded Titans defense?
I get that. But again, this is what I'm telling you. That's why I believe Huntley's going to play. But if Huntley doesn't play, it's going to be a tight victory because we'll do more on offense than they will. The Titans are not going to have any success on offense in this game.
Yeah, I mean, listen, man, all I heard all offseason is watch out for the Titans. They're loaded, and they're the most underrated team. And now you're out here thinking that you're going to just, beat them easily. I don't know.
Will Levis has been horrible. So we got two horrible quarterbacks possibly going to be on the field. So at the end of the day, at least Skyler and everybody else didn't turn the ball over. Will Levis is turning the ball over twice every week at a minimum.
And this is what I'll say, my preview to this. Ooh, you better not lose this game because this is the game that you can get back on track. This is the game that you can get back at 500 and be like, okay, we're dealing with adversity, because adversity is inevitable usually in every single team's season. The Miami Dolphins are dealing with it right at the brink of it. Some other teams will deal with it in a few weeks. Some will deal with it later on in the season. Adversity will strike inevitably, and this is the time for the Dolphins to kind of face that and see the type of team that they truly are. Do they have that next man up mentality? Does Mike McDaniel have this team prepared? Because I'll be honest, man, I'm watching that Dolphins game, and I'm like, I don't see a team that feels like they're even fired up. It doesn't feel like they're trying to grit out a victory. It doesn't feel like the team that's fighting behind for Mike McDaniel, for their coach. So that's what I want to see on that one, because last year, let's not forget, we saw the Tennessee Titans go into Miami and beat them on prime time. That was kind of the Will Levis game. You never know if Will Levis still has some little swag in that. Be like, hey, I remember what I did last year in Miami. I'm about to go to Miami and dance all over him and have my best game of the season, okay? So we shall see. The Tennessee Titans, they're a team that people are hyping up against the Jets. Be like, watch out for the Titans. They're scary. They got a defense. And, of course, the Jets grit out a W. Wasn't pretty. And then last week they got plummeted, right? Will Levis throws a pick six. They did not look good. So this is a good opportunity for the Dolphins to get back. The Dolphins should win this game, but I don't know if I've seen them play good enough football for me to even pick them in this game. To be honest, I've seen the Titans lose 3 games, but I've seen them play at least decent football. From the Dolphins' perspective, they have not had a lead yet this season. They have not had one lead. Their only lead came in overtime in their first win. I need to see more from the Dolphins before I pick them to win a football game. Especially with Tim Boyle potentially your quarterback. This is a game that the Dolphins should win, but will they? What have the Miami Dolphins proven to me that I should trust them in this game? That's what I want to know.
Nothing, but you got another team on the other side. What have they proven to trust you? So I already told you.
Exactly. And listen, I'm not saying you shouldn't be picking your Dolphins. That's not what I'm saying. But from my perspective and NFL fans' perspective, what reason do we have besides the Titans are 0-3? Right? That's really what it comes down to. The Titans have a very good defense, and that matchup, it does not go in your favor because your issue is your offense.
We have a very good defense, but at least our offense isn't turning the ball over like they are.
Yeah, but they struggle to score points.
Yes, but our defense will score points in this game.
How many points did your defense score? I mean, I know now Will Levis is turnover prone, so you're going to rely on that. But
Will Levis will win the game for us and lose it for them. It's that simple. We got two teams that their offense isn't doing anything, but our defense will do more against him than their defense will do against any of these starters we have.
Monday Night Football. Dolphins, Titans.
So
two AFC teams that will not be in the playoffs. Go on, Dan.
Wait, did y'all give your score predictions?
Here's mine, right?
Here we go.
And it's really difficult too, because like this Titans team has not lived up to expectations, or maybe according to several of you, they have.
I told y'all they wouldn't.
On paper, this defense secondary should be insane, but with L'Jarius Sneed does not look the same. So I think we need to start giving a lot of credit to Spags over in Kansas City for getting the most out of the corners. I think proof is out there with how Trent McDuffie is playing over there. But I mean, listen, right? Solid defensive performance against the Chicago Bears, because all of the Chicago Bears points were scored by the defense that week 1 matchup. And then obviously they let up 24 against the New York Jets. And then what was the other score we saw from this? I'm trying to think who else. And of course the Packers had 30, where they ended up having Malik Willis as the leading rusher. Same thing when it comes into the leading passer. So the Titans are technically doing their job defensively, but we're talking about Will Levis right here. Will Levis has had a very difficult time turning the ball over. I want to say that he leads the league in turnovers with fumbles and then also interceptions combined. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he's number 1 or number 2. I'm going to pick the Titans in this game.
Go figure.
Just because while this Titans team has not been necessarily being crazy on the box score, I'm looking at what they have left running backs with. And with Breece Hall, they left him with about 62 yards on the ground. I got to double check and see how Braylon Allen did. Yeah, 7 for 33 after the fact. I don't see your running backs really having much of a statement against this defense. I trust their secondary against Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, particularly with who is going to be throwing them the football. Even if it is Tyler Huntley, which I believe probably should be the best pick, because, I mean, you saw what Malik Willis was able to do over in Green Bay. That's probably your best shot. But I just don't like the matchups, and it all starts with the quarterback right over in Miami. And then we all know that Will Levis is a roller coaster, has a couple of bad games here and there, and then automatically he turns it on after a little bit. So give me the Titans 24, the Dolphins 10.
All right.
It's that QB.
Look, if Tua was playing in this game, I feel like it would be different. I feel like I would pick the Dolphins, but I feel like we don't even know who exactly the quarterback's going to be. Is it Huntley? Is it Skylar Thompson? It's going to be curious, but either way, none of those guys are starting caliber quarterbacks in the league. I mean, these guys are lucky enough to even be backups in the NFL. These are realistically guys that you never want to actually take over. They're more scout team quarterbacks than anything else. And here's what I'll say. I'll say if the Dolphins can play a turnover-free game offensively, and Will Levis has 2+ turnovers, then I think the Dolphins will come out with this win. But
he will.
If Will Levis has 1 turnover or less, if the Dolphins offense starts turning the ball over, then I think it's game, set, and match. I mean, like we've talked about, that Titans defense is good. I mean, it is legit. They're not perfect. They're a little bit inconsistent, but they are still definitely one of the top-tier defenses in the NFL. I mean, when it comes to Will Levis, when it comes to how this Titans team was going to project, I told y'all, and I told you especially, TD. I mean, when you were clowning the Patriots and their schedule, oh, look at you got the Titans, and that's a hard game. I mean, Will Levis going to cook. And I told you, I said, no, he's not. He's not even a starting caliber quarterback in this league. And what y'all saw last year when he came in last minute was trap games. It didn't mean anything. And I try to tell y'all, and y'all clown me. And look, I guess I got the last laugh here. But look, I'm going to say that this game is going to finish with a Titans win, 17-10. Will Levis is probably going to turn the ball over at least once, but I think Skylar Thompson is probably going to be the quarterback in this game. I think that you guys are also offensively going to turn the ball over. You couldn't get Tyreek and Waddle going last week. You couldn't get the run game going last week, and you played a top defense. I mean, let's give you credit. You played a top defense in the Seattle Seahawks, but You're also playing, like I said, a Titans defense, which isn't too far behind statistically where the Seahawks are too. So at the end of the day, I definitely have to go with the Titans in this game. And like I said, my score prediction is 17-10.
And who did you pick, Richie, again?
I don't think you did pick.
Who did I pick?
You picked the Titans.
You'll find out tomorrow who I picked, TD, on Bleacher Report.
Well, I know.
You'll find out who I picked tomorrow night on Bleacher Report, tomorrow at 12 p.m. Hey, yo, I picked the Titans. What are the Dolphins proving to me that I should pick them? I want the Dolphins to prove me wrong before I pick them. I want to be proven wrong by the Miami Dolphins, and then I'll start picking them. That's how I operate with these Miami Dolphins, because they have not proven to me anything, and neither are the Titans.
Listen, I'm not even saying this as a fan. We are not losing to the Titans. Y'all need to stop. But okay,
and
that's
you're
fine.
saying that with such like. You said that last week, by the way, for the Seahawks game. By the way, you did.
I don't recall that, but anyway,
don't make me go get the receipts out.
Listen, I know emphatically we are not losing to the Titans.
And that's you saying that with like so much deep hope. Like you're like, how do I put this into words? Like you're kind of like losing yourself. You're
that's
like,
fine. Listen, I already know what's going to happen.
We can't lose to the Titans.
I already know what's going to happen. You'll be like, oh, it was the Titans. It was the Titans. Yeah, it was the Titans. But you know what? Y'all going to see how this all plays out.
All right. We shall see. Will Levis beat you guys last year. He haunts you. And now he's going to come back. All right. Let's get into the next preview, which is Jets Media Day, baby. Which is going to be a lot of fun, man. My event is this Sunday, by the way. Shout out to everybody that's coming through. We got over 160 Jets fans coming to the event. It's going to be a lot of fun. Guys, stay tuned. I'm doing a live show from the MetLife Stadium Sunday morning, and I got a big plan for it. I got a huge production behind it, so I would love it if you guys can come through and support your boy over there on Jets Media Day. Shout out to the people in the chat that's watching that will be there. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm putting a lot of energy and a little taste. When you watch that event, know that, okay, that's going to be what the Roundtable event's going to be in 2 weeks after that for the Jets and the Bills. But, you know, I'll keep this short and sweet. Jets, Broncos, the New York Jets are favorites, right? I'm curious by how much, because I honestly have no idea. So the New York Jets are favorited in this game on BetUS Sportsbook by 8 points. What the? Wow. I mean, listen, we're favored by 8 points. The Jets are expected to win. The New York Jets were favored against the Patriots for a reason by 6 points for a reason, and we took care of business. The only thing I'll say is this, man. The Denver Broncos are coming off a very impressive win. They are coming off a very impressive win. They went into Tampa Bay, and they beat up on the Bucs undefeated. So I need this Jets team to go out there and just win. I need to see Aaron Rodgers go out there and play good football, and this is the matchup to watch. Breece Hall in his 2 games against the Broncos in his career. The first game was the game he tore his ACL. 4 carries, 72 yards, and a touchdown. He was on his way to have like the best game of his career before he tore his ACL. Last season, Breece Hall, 22 carries, 172 yards, and a touchdown. Breece Hall goes off against this Broncos defense, and I expect him to have the best game of the season so far for Breece Hall. That's the path for this one. I want this to be a dominant game on the ground. Defensively, I would love to see this Jets team get to Bo Nix. He has confidence coming off that game last week. Let's kill his confidence. We're at MetLife Stadium. It's a 1 o'clock game. The crowd's going to be energetic. The Jets got to win this game, bro. The Jets will win this game 27-17. That's my final score prediction. The New York Jets have to win these games if they want to be taken seriously. We had a test on Thursday night against the Patriots, a game we're supposed to win, and we dominated. I don't know if it's going to be a domination, but I expect the Jets to win this game and cover the spread at -8.
So certainly don't sleep on the Denver Broncos defense. And so they did make the Tampa Bay Buccaneers look pretty silly last week, but I just don't see Bo Nix and this offense over in Denver being able to do anything against the Jets defense, quite frankly. I think this is going to be a game where Bo Nix probably turns the ball over about 3 times. And so to be completely honest with you, I like the matchup with PS2 versus Garrett Wilson. And I think that it's going to be a part of the game plan to all but attempt to take him out of the game entirely. But, I mean, you still have so many different weapons. I think that this team will be able to run it down their throats. I think Lazard, I think Mike Williams, maybe even Corley is going to go out there and have some time. I just think that this is
just really going to be a domination. Maybe not necessarily via the box score, but I think that this is just going to be a game where the Jets don't even have a time where they're trailing at any point. It's going to be a dub for the Jets. Give me 32-17.
So you have the Jets covering this 8-point spread, Dan, which is a lot. Also, it's over-under is at 39 in this game. And also want to remind you guys that if you wanted to make your bets for week 4 or any of your bets, that is on BetUS Sportsbook. I just want to remind you guys, there's a 150% bonus on your first deposit, $125 in your next 2, all the way up to $2,000. They even have a nice Matt agent like Brian that's trying to reach out and join the chat, right? So you can even talk to a virtual assistant. You can ask him any questions. If you want to make a bet, they can do it for you. Really, really awesome stuff on BetUS, the official sportsbook sponsor of the Roundtable Sports Network. We're really, really fortunate to have them. So these are all the odds on BetUS for week number 4. So on Thursday night's matchup, you got the Giants at 6-point underdogs on Thursday Night Football at home, which is very, very interesting. The Cowboys have owned the Giants in recent memory. Giants coming off a big win. Cowboys coming off another big loss. We shall see about that one. I'm curious what the odds are for that Miami game. We didn't really see that when we previewed it. Oh, boy, it's even. Wow. The Dolphins it's basically even, bro. Let's just call it what it is. You get 3 points at home, and they're at -1. Boy, the sportsbook don't believe in you, TD. They don't believe in the Dolphins, bro. I thought it was going to be at least a 3-point, 4-point spread in this one because you said, the Dolphins-Seahawks spread, they see what's coming, but I don't know. What are your thoughts about that?
I know. This is what they have it at right now. It's all good. At the end of the day, this is why they play the games, and I think we'll be just fine.
Exactly. And then, wow, the Patriots-Niners is at 10 points.
Honestly, I'm surprised it's not more.
I think that's the largest spread I've seen all season.
Really?
I'm not lying. Yeah, I think the one that was last week was 9 points to the Bengals, by the way, over the Commanders, which it would be obviously 13. Did not cover. Yeah, that's a big spread, 10 points. Big spread. And then our last game that we'll be previewing. Oh, wait, no, we got to get TD's thoughts and Colby's thoughts about that Jets-Broncos game, right? So, Jets-Broncos, your guys' thoughts.
TD, you want to go first?
Yeah, it's simple for me. Jets going to obliterate the Broncos. They're a much better team. Aaron Rodgers is heating up. This is the easy win for the Jets. But I'm not trying to boost y'all up to jinx you. It's just the reality. That's what's going to happen in this game. So congratulations to the Jets. Y'all going to get another W, but I'll see you a week after that and things will change.
Yeah,
and I got the score. The score in this was going to be 31-17. I want to say 10, but they'll get one late in trash time. They'll get another one.
Hey man, if there's ever a game to be dominant and blow anybody out, it's this one. Just because it's my event and I want to get on the field with 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter, no stress. So hopefully that's the case. Colby, your thoughts of this game?
Yeah, look, the Broncos haven't been playing great football. Bo Nix in the preseason was the highest graded quarterback throughout the entire preseason, goes into the regular season and doesn't really do much. Interesting fact, he's actually leading the Broncos right now in terms of total rush yards through 3 weeks. He has 107 total rushing yards on the ground. So definitely some mobility to him that you have to watch out for. I don't think they're going to do necessarily too much in the passing game. They haven't really gotten much out of the passing game all season long. In fact, they don't have a single passing touchdown so far through 3 weeks, and that's something to keep in mind there. But that defense, I think that defense is something you have to respect for the Broncos. I know everybody's not really talking about them. Everybody thinks the Jets are going to come up and put 40 on the Broncos, and it's going to be they're going to score 3 points. Definitely respect. I don't respect that Broncos offense, but definitely respect that Broncos defense, who had 7 sacks last week. Patrick Surtain is their cornerback 1. So far this season, he has held Mike Evans to 17 yards, DK to 29, and George Pickens to 29 yards. And then last week, their cornerback 2 with Riley Moss, he was the highest graded cornerback in the National Football League last week with a 91.1 overall grade. So I think that defense is legit, but at the end of the day, I trust Aaron Rodgers a lot more. I trust that veteran kind of mentor leadership that they got going on. And I think that this is going to be a 21-13 win by the Jets. I don't think it's necessarily going to be, again, the prettiest of wins, the biggest blowout, but I do feel very confident that the Jets are going to come out with this win. I think you're going to be able to limit Bo Nix. I think you could get, 1 or 2 turnovers on that Broncos offense. But I don't think you guys are going to have as much of an explosive offense this week as you did last week, because again, just don't demise what that Broncos defense can do.
Yeah, that Broncos defense is something to be worried about. I mean, they went into Tampa Bay and shut down a red-hot Baker Mayfield and that offense. Let's not forget what the Buccaneers were doing leading into that game. So that is definitely something I picked the Bucs in my survivor pool, and I'm pissed because they eliminated me. But guess what? It's the last week for buybacks. I bought back in, and you know who I picked this week in my survivor pool?
Who's that?
My Jets, because it's either the Jets are good and I'm moving on this survivor pool, or the Jets are not good and I'm eliminated. I'm all in. Pick the Jets. I'm picking against the Broncos 2 weeks in a row, so they better not do that to me. So that's going to be fun, and I'll be there. And definitely, guys, stay tuned. Just a reminder, I'm not going to have a play-by-play reaction on Sunday because I'll be at the game for my event. But in replacement for the live play-by-play reaction, I'm going to have an awesome live pregame show from the tailgate. It's going to be a really cool production. I got a lot of fun things in the works for that graphically and production-wise. We're really trying to level things up. So stay tuned for that, guys. Sunday morning on Jets Media. All right. Any more super chats, Dan, you want to catch up on? And we'll get into the Glenn, and then we'll get into Patreon. And then we can
what about the Buffalo Bills and the Baltimore Ravens?
Man, I don't really know. I don't know if I want to talk about it.
No, listen, man. I'm going to keep this very, very brief. All right. So for the third week in a row, Josh Allen will be in a baseball cap by the fourth quarter. He will be sitting. He will be sitting. And this is exactly why I have this overall thought process. Right now, you are looking at the Buffalo Bills versus the Baltimore Ravens. And I want us to take a look at some of the matchups right now. When it comes to the Buffalo Bills passing attack, my friends, this is absolutely lethal. On points per play, we're number 1 in the entire league, number 1 in fourth down conversions, number 2 in red zone scoring. And what makes it even more interesting, yards per pass, 8.6, number 2. And then we are in the top 5 in so many different passing categories going into it. And the Baltimore Ravens are currently 32nd in the league for the secondary. Their secondary is having so many issues. They are the bar none worst secondary in the league by itself. They are right now allowing 291.7 passing yards per game. So what's going on?
Hey, TD, what are you doing?
Yeah. What's going on?
Someone's playing something.
Yeah, someone was playing something. Yeah, so
poor TD, man.
TD's watching TV.
He's watching TV.
No, I'm trying to turn my phone screen is jamming on me, and I can't press anything.
It is jamming right
You're interrupting Dan's excellent take about this Bills game.
Yeah, most definitely. So really when it comes down into it, man, I am looking at a defensive line that is having a very difficult time getting to the quarterback. This Buffalo Bills offensive line has made Josh Allen the least sacked quarterback in the league by itself. He has all the time in the world, and these corners are just terrible. They really, really are. Like when you have Gardner Minshew out there absolutely carving up your secondary, if you think that Josh Allen is not about to go out there and completely light these guys up, you are absolutely out of your mind. Now, what's interesting is that this Baltimore Ravens team, they are also about top 3 when it comes into running the football. And on paper, what the Buffalo Bills allow on the run game is around middle of the pack, maybe in the 20s. But what makes it interesting is that teams aren't really running the ball as much on the Buffalo Bills because they are scoring on as many drives as humanly possible. They are just wildly efficient, and teams need to resort into passing the football in order to keep up. I imagine this is going to happen over in Baltimore as well. Now, obviously, with Derrick Henry, solid running back, but the first time that he played us, he rushed for over 140 yards. Since then, Sean McDermott has limited him to about 40 to 50 yards per game, and the only reason it was that high was based off of one big-time run. If we force Lamar Jackson to pass the football, in which that he struggles throwing outside of the numbers, 80% of his passes have been from the line of scrimmage, 10 yards on, in the middle of the field. He only has 9 attempts outside of the numbers, past 10 yards from the line of scrimmage. That's one of the biggest things that everyone has always criticized him for is that he can't stretch the field. He's not a deep ball guy. He can't throw outside of the numbers. And they are going to have to rely on Lamar Jackson to beat us with that overall pass attack. Offensive line over in Baltimore, so many question marks. There's a reason why he has scrambled more than any quarterback in this league. And the only reason he hasn't been sacked more was just because of the fact that he has that mobility. I honestly believe this, man. I love the matchups. I really do. You are talking about one of the most efficient offenses going up against one of the worst secondaries in the league. They miss Mike McDonald terribly. This is going to be a high-scoring game, but on the Buffalo Bills side of things. Love the matchups. I'm not scared of this team. I don't care where the game is being played. There's no excuse for the Buffalo Bills not to go out there and hang 30 points on the secondary. Zero excuse. Give me Buffalo Bills for the fourth week in a row to put up 35 points, and give me Baltimore to put up about 20. 35-20 Buffalo Bills.
Wow.
35-20.
TD, you next, man. TD, let's go.
Charge it for me. Listen, the Buffalo Bills can talk about X's and O's all they want. They don't know what this team is against a team that actually fights and punches back. Okay, you can sit here and say Josh Allen gonna be wearing his baseball cap out of fourth quarter. Y'all gonna be fighting for y'all life trying to win. It's not gonna be a blowout. It's not gonna be one of those type of games. It's gonna be a tight game that comes down to the very end of the game in the fourth quarter, and Baltimore will win this game. I don't care if their defensive side of the ball was ranked 50th. That team balls. That team competes. That team don't get blown out like that, Dan Mitchell, like you're trying to make it seem, okay? At the end of the day, this is a game they got to get up for because they're in desperation mode. They know they can't go down like the way that they've been going down. So what are they going to do? They're going to punch y'all in the mouth. They're going to punch y'all straight in the mouth. And Buffalo, y'all going to be like, ooh, Buffalo's struggling. We're going to be watching that game, be like, oh, boy, we got a real game now. And that's what it's going to come down to at the end of the day. And then I want to see Josh Allen playing like an MVP then. Then I want to see DeMar Hamlin making plays against the Ravens offense. Now, I want to see DeMar Hamlin when Derrick Henry gets to that second level, what he going to do? Okay? So at the end of the day, you have a real threat now. Okay? A real quarterback now. And matter of fact, let me see if let me get this record real quick. Okay. The Ravens, listen, at the end of the day, based off what I'm seeing right now, it's going to be just like the Cowboys game. It's going to be a hard-fought game, 28-25. It's going to be just like it. Because Josh Allen, that's how y'all run y'all offense. It's the same way, and they got a defense. That's what the Ravens going to do. It's going to be just like the Cowboys game they just had where they beat them 28-25. The same way.
So the thing was that at one point during that game, 28-3. And in the second half, they didn't score a single point by itself. So the Cowboys were able to make adjustments, shut the offense down, and then that secondary was taking advantage.
No, we know what the Ravens are.
And nothing but full steam ahead for 4 quarters all week.
Yeah, against bums. Against bums. It's been against bums.
They won't be able to catch up, man. Listen,
it ain't even going to be. They're not going to have to catch up, Dan. They're going to get up out and early. They're going to ball. They're going to play good football. Come on, man. And another thing you're not talking about. Here's another thing you're not talking about. Where is this game? Where's this game, Dan?
It's in Baltimore. It doesn't matter.
It's an L for the Bills. It's an L. It's an L for the Bills. Y'all ain't going to no Baltimore winning that game. Stop the count. I'm not going into Baltimore. Now, if this was in Buffalo,
please get to work right now, please.
If this was in Buffalo, I might have even given y'all the game by 3 points. But y'all ain't going to Baltimore winning this game of the team that got their back against the wall like that. No,
this Ravens team has not looked good all season.
Oh, you know what, Dan? They
didn't not look good.
They haven't looked good all season, and then they said we can't go down 0-3. They took care of business, and they certainly aren't going down 1-3. They're going to be 2-2, right back in the fray, like everybody know they should be. And this is the game they do it. And on top of it, this is what I be talking about. This is not only the game that they do it, But the game they get respect again. Okay, they had a rough start. It looked like they get back on track with a win with the Cowboys and the Bills. Ravens are back to playing the football they know they can play. That's what you're about to witness at the end of the day, man. And I understand. The Bills are running high, bro. The Bills are running real high right now, but you also have to look at the efficiency of Lamar Jackson even in that Cowboys game. They didn't even need to do much. They ran the ball down their throat. What did I tell y'all, Richie? What did I say? What did I say last week on a prediction show? The problem with the Ravens is they not running the football. They need to give Derrick Henry 20-plus carries. They finally get this man 25 carries. He had 151 yards, 6 yards a carry with 2 touchdowns. And Lamar Jackson ran 14 carries for 87 yards, 6.2 per carry in a touchdown. So Lamar, all he had to do was throw for 182 yards, but look how efficient it was, 12 of 15. 12 of 15. Dan Mitchell, with 1 touchdown, no interception. They know what their identity is now. They gonna hand that rock off 25 times to Derrick Henry, and they gonna get to cooking because that's the winning formula in Baltimore. And they finally realized that. And I've been said it. That's what their problem was. They need to lean on Derrick Henry, and they'll have a much better, more efficient Lamar Jackson, and that's what they got.
So the Buffalo Bills will not punt once on Sunday night.
And you can settle for 7 or 8 field goals all you want.
They will not punt once.
You can settle for 7 or 8 field goals all you want, but I know that the Baltimore Ravens in this game
secondary is so
the Baltimore
bad.
Ravens.
You are going to be screaming at your television.
The Baltimore Ravens.
Stop it, man! He's killing you out there, dude. It's gonna be crazy.
The Ravens 24.
It is so bad.
The Buffalo Bills 23. Game over. 24-23.
Well, you got it close. I'll respect you for that.
I told you it's still going to be close, but they're going to run the rock. They're going to control the clock. They're not going to let this game get in the 30s.
How about
Cole,
that?
You want to go?
How about that? Hey, look. I think the Ravens are going to bounce back at some point this season. I think that counting them out and saying that they're not going to make the playoffs or they're a bad team, I think is absolutely wild. I feel like it's been a really, really weird season so far for teams you think would be bad or at least worse than they are, and teams that you expect to be really good that just like haven't been. I mean, the way that the AFC picture is shaping up right now, I mean, it's wild. I would say the Bills are a lock for the playoffs. The Steelers are a lock for the playoffs, and the Steelers are the team that nobody expected would be a playoff team. I thought that they would be maybe a middle of the pack team at best, and they're already basically a lock at 3-0 right now. And by the way, under Mike Tomlin, when they started 3-0 every other season, I think it's happened 3 or 4 times, they have made the playoffs. So, I'm looking at this Ravens teams though, and yes, they've only won 1 game, but these games have been really, really close. Yep. Week 1 against the Chiefs, 20-27. Week 2 against the Raiders, 26-23. Last week, 28-25. I think it's absolutely crazy if you think that the Bills are going to blow them out. I do have the Bills winning this game. I'm going to go with a score prediction of 27-24. I think it's going to be close. I do just trust the Bills. I think the Bills are red hot right now. They are lightning hot. They are killing it. And how can you go against a team that is playing better? How can you go against a team that is undefeated? One of the only other teams that are undefeated. Like I said, I think the Ravens are still going to the playoffs. I think they're going to turn it on as time goes on. I think it's going to be a close game, but I just don't think that the Ravens are going to have enough in order to shut down Josh Allen. I think that this is going to be a good game. I think it's going to be a good game from James Cook. I think Josh Allen yet again is going to put the team on his back. I think yet again he's not going to have a turnover in this game. And as long as you are able to keep Lamar Jackson in the pocket and force him to basically pass on you, then you're going to win this game. And here's the thing too, is I really like the Bills cornerbacks, and they performed way better than everybody expected them to so far. They're some of the highest graded corners and one of the highest graded secondaries in the NFL right now. And when you're asking Lamar Jackson to beat you that way, going up against a good secondary, even more that I think the Buffalo Bills are going to win this game.
Love it, Colby. Thank you.
Got you, bro. Let's go, Richie.
All right, Sunday Night Football. The Baltimore Ravens, man, they're a lot better than people think, in my opinion. I think their record does not show who they actually are. I think the Buffalo Bills are a very good football team. I think they deserve their 3-0 record. I think they deserve their hype right now. I think Bills fans should be very pleased with them proving the narrative wrong of that Josh Allen may not need Stephon Diggs. I think all of that is true. But I also think if you think that the Bills are going to go into Baltimore and put on an absolute stampede, I just think that's kind of ridiculous. Is it possible? Of course. I'm not going to rule it out. But I think it's kind of ridiculous to expect the Bills to go into Baltimore and blow out that team. I think that this Baltimore Ravens team is a squad that is finding their identity, which is running that football with Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson grounding that ball. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I think it's going to be one of those games that's going to be back and forth. Josh Allen, that offense is going to make plays. I think Derrick Henry is going to break one. I think we're also going to see in this football game MVP level Josh Allen and MVP level Lamar Jackson. I think we're going to see two quarterbacks at the top of their craft, and I think it's just going to be one of those games that no matter who wins, NFL fans come out of it like, yeah, that's why we love this game, man. That's why we love the game of football. That's why we love the game of football. So Dan Mitchell says Ravens fans will be leaving the stadium by 3-minute mark. I love how this is how Dan
is communicates
when people talk. He doesn't want to interrupt. Like sometimes I do for sure, which I apologize for, but he sends a message on YouTube and then he puts it on the screen. Dan Mitchell. Oh, it's hilarious. I love it. So yeah, man, listen, if you're a Bills fan, I get it. Dan's on his high horse. He was watching his football team playing excellent ball. I think that's justifiable, but I think if you're counting out this Baltimore Ravens team, they were the first seed in the AFC last year for a reason. I know that their offensive line is not the same, but their defense is, going through some things. And let's add some context that Colby mentioned for this Ravens team. Week 1, they were just a toe tapper away from being a 2-point conversion away from winning that game against the Chiefs. Week 2, right? They go out there and they were winning that football game all the way into the fourth quarter, and then just something crazy happened. The Raiders just came back, and it was a miracle win for the Raiders. They were in control of that game until the Raiders came back and won. And then week 3, they go into Jerry World, a desperate Cowboys team at 0-2, and they just run that football down their throats. Now, of course, the Dallas Cowboys, they're one of the worst teams in the league against the run, so I can definitely attest to that. I think this is going to go down to the wire, and I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. And I got the Ravens going 2-2, winning 31-28 in this one. And I think that Josh Allen's going to have a good game. I think the Bills going to have a good game. But I think when it comes down to it, I think that the Ravens are playing desperate. And I think that they know how bad they need this win to kind of consider themselves, one of those dangerous teams in the AFC. And you look at the AFC North, this is a game that the Ravens absolutely need with the Steelers being 3-0 and everyone else not playing good. So I got the Ravens winning 31-28.
Oh, so wait, is that a field goal? 28. Yeah. So we have the Bills both winning by 3 points. All right, Richie, respect. I think you have
I have the Ravens winning.
Oh, you have the Ravens winning?
Yeah.
Oh shit! Yeah. I don't know how I didn't hear that right. Okay.
Hey, Ravens. Truth be told, Ravens might be the one that's blowing them out.
I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be a close game.
Yeah, me too. But if it's going to be
I don't have any blowouts either way.
It's the Ravens going to blow them out.
And so some people in the chat are probably just like, why is Dan so cocky? Well, let me tell you, folks, it's everyone in the chat's fault. This offseason, I got berated. No Stephon Diggs, no Gabe Davis. Who are your corners, Dan?
Dude, take the shades off. I
the
can't
Buffalo
take you seriously, bro.
Are about to win 6 to 8 games. You created this monster. So the only person to blame is yourself. Walk away from the computer screen right now. Look yourself in the mirror.
You know what? It's fair. You know what? Dan deserves this.
And
Dan
tell I created the monster. So when you get angry with me on Twitter, or on this show, it's all your fault.
It's 3 weeks, Dan. You taking victory laps. Don't worry. We'll see.
It's be 4 weeks, baby. I'll see you next Wednesday.
Everyone's saying, they're upset with me with taking the Ravens in this one. I'm genuinely not picking the Ravens because I want them to win. Yeah. It's more about people are all of a sudden counting out the Ravens and thinking they're trash. I'm not buying into that yet.
So one other thing that people always like to say, Dan, and the Buffalo Bills motto is stay humble and hungry, Dan. Stay humble and hungry. My friend, listen, my team is humble and hungry. I'm going to be the biggest cocky asshole in the face of the planet. It affects 0, baby. This Buffalo Bills team's 3-0, about to be 4-0.
Are there Jets fans telling you to stay humble and hungry?
We
I don't
have
know. Probably.
no.
Probably.
I was about to say, because that'd
Probably
be the most
3-1,
Probably
then
the
3 and
critical thing to
2.
say.
3-way tie in the division. That's simple.
TD, buddy, I think you got to let it go. You went from we're blowing everybody out. We're
Kobe,
winning the
you saying
division
that because you
now.
ain't got no shot of time in
But
this
you're,
division.
see, but here's the thing. I'm realistic. I know that we're not competing for the division this year. You might as well just start talking to me. Who's going to compete for fourth? Who's going to compete for third? Right? Like
You'll see, Kobe.
I'll see what.
I mean,
me and you looking
you'll
at
see.
third.
Dan, it
You'll
feels
see.
good to have like the people compete for 3 and 4, right? When we're up here, competing for
Oh,
1 and
it's
2.
great.
I don't care
Richie,
how we
stop.
end.
Richie,
But
stop.
here's the-
After next week, we'll be
Here's-
tied. Stop.
Here's the thing.